guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zay and today I'm going to be sharing my ultimate fall guide. Today's video is very exciting because I'm going to be talking all things fall, giving you guys some recommendations for books, TV shows, movies, just everything. I got you all. And I'm really excited to talk to you all today and just share all the things and talk all things fall. It's my favorite thing to talk about. It's my favorite season of the year. Well, I love Christmas, but like season. Feeling like fall. So I wanted to do this when it was like actually feeling like fall, you know? So I'm just excited and I can't wait. Now I can say I understand if some of you all are only here for the books. It will not offend me if you just exit out of here. So I am going to be starting with some books and then we'll talk about TV shows and then we'll talk about movies. I have a lot of books. I'm not going to go in detail about all of them because there's too many. So we're just going to be going through these fairly quickly. I'll have another like fall reading recommendations up for you all soon. And it's like a mixed bag of like shows. I don't like anything scary. So you're not going to get anything scary from Wall. You're just going to get fun stuff and things that are vibes and mysteries. Let's just get right into today's video. We don't have enough time to be chit-chatting because it's a long one. So sit back, relax, enjoy. First things first, I'm going to be starting with Business Casual by B.K. Borson. This is the last book and the most recent book in the Love Life Farm series. I love this book so much. This was fantastic. I read it during the summer season, but I highly recommend you all picking this up for the fall because it takes place during fall, and in fact this entire series is perfect to read throughout the seasons because each book takes place during a season. Like the first book takes place during Christmas, so the second book is spring or fall, spring, next one spring, okay, probably summer anyway. But I absolutely love this story. Nova and Charlie, we're following Nova and Charlie in this one, and these two basically have a one-night stand, having this crazy attraction towards one another, and they just decide to give in just for one night, get it out of their system, but things don't go as planned. And I love that. I love that trope. I think it's so much fun, and I think this is one of the best ones that I read, so I highly recommend it. This is so perfect for the fall, and B.K. Borson is such a really great writer, and I really enjoyed just like how cozy this book felt and all of the fall vibes. So highly recommend you all pick up Business Casual. I did read this one on audio. I don't recommend the audio, so you can get your just eyeball this one. I highly recommend it. I don't really recommend the audiobook to this one, but that's just my opinion. So next we have another contemporary, and that is If You Give a Lawyer a Kiss by Anne Einerson. This is the most recent release by this author. I've really been enjoying this author's small time romance series. Now this one is not a part of the series that she's writing right now officially, but this character is a friend of one of the brothers. This series follows family. They're mainly brothers. Okay, it follows a family, and I really love this series, but this one is kind of like a standalone in the series, but it does connect with it, can be read by itself, etc. But this takes place during fall in New York, and just nothing gives fall like New York, right? And so this is perfect. There's like pumpkin spice. It's just so cozy, and I really enjoyed this one. This is a workplace romance. This is one of those tropes where the heroine meets our hero. They have like, she's like on an awful date and she runs away from the date because she's really creeped out by this man, and she runs into a tattoo parlor, and the guy that owns the shop, he's there, and he's like, what are you doing? And she explains what's going on, so he decides to hide her out for a little bit, and they just have like this crazy kind of chemistry between them, like they're just really attracted to one another. They have a moment, they just make out, and then she freaks out, she runs away, and a few months later, she is a paralegal, and she's working at a law firm. The guy that she had a hot kiss with, and it just happens to be her boss, her big boss. So there's more to it. I really enjoyed it. It's a fun one. It's a quick read as well. Next, we have one of my favorite books of the year, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This edition is the steamy lit edition, and so many people don't like this one, but I absolutely love this edition. I think it's so beautiful. He doesn't look exactly like I thought he would, but I think he still looks very handsome. But anyway, I love this book. Okay, this is about a vampire and a werewolf, and vampires and werewolves do not get along in this world, and they are forced into an arranged marriage to keep peace between their species. And our heroine is also trying to figure out something that happened to one of her dear friends. So there's a little mystery with this. And then there's a found family in this book because our heroine feels not accepted by the vampires. And she just realizes that the werewolves have this really great dynamic within their pack, and they're like a family. And so she found family elements to this story, and the romance is epic. It's sexy. Honestly, this gave like early 2000s paranormal, but with an Ali Hazelwood twist. She makes it funny and sexy, and it's just so, honestly, unique. It is perfect to read around this time of year. The book I have is Parallel by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I think it is so underrated. Now, this book is about a woman who she is engaged and she's planning her wedding. Her and her fiance and her mom, like they're all out looking at locations for where her and her fiance might get married at. And our heroine has been having these dreams, and they don't feel like dreams. They feel a little bit deeper than dreams. And she has an episode, like an intense, like kind of headache all of a sudden. And I'm pretty sure she like passes out, and ends up at the hospital. And when she wakes up, she sees the doctor, and the doctor is the man who's been in her dreams, question mark. He kind of recognizes her from his dreams, and they're just like, what in the world is happening here? It is so unique. I don't want to say anything else. I just recommend going into this one blind. It is, I guess you would consider it paranormal, and I really enjoy this one. It's a duet. So there's 2 books, and they're both really great. The next book for you all is The Lies We Steal by Monty J. So this is a part of the Hollow Boys series. Now, this series is perfect for Penelope Douglas fans. If you love the Devil's Night series, Rena Kent fans, her most recent like dark new adult college romance series that she just finished. This is perfect for fans of those series. From what I've heard, I haven't read any of them, but they are on my radar now that I've read The Hollow Boys. I'm not done with this series, so I can't give my complete recommendation for the entire series, but I have read most of the books. I am reading one right now, and then I have just another one to read in the series, and I love the series. It's kind of a dark academia series, mystery, dark romance. This one definitely has some triggers, so look that up, look at some reviews and things for details on those triggers, and they might be listed in the book. I honestly can't remember. If you have Hoopla or something, most of the series is on audio. All the books except for the last book in the series is out on audio, so I definitely recommend that you all check it out. I love this series, and I am just so in love with Monty J's writing. They're such a great writer, and it's just a very easy series to get lost in and marathon and binge the heck out of. And it's just perfect for this time of year. Our guys love to put on masks, so we love a masked man, and they're all just very broody, dark guys, and they've all gone through a lot, and they all have their own inner demons, and mental health is a really big theme in this series. But this series is following our Hollow Boys. Our Hollow Boys live in this town, and they're kind of like the black sheep of the town. And something happens to one of the guys' girlfriends, and they are just in disarray about it, and they're trying to figure out what happened. This definitely takes them on a really wild ride. They uncover things, they fall in love. Each of the guys has their own book. The 3rd book in the series, they have 2 books, Thatcher and Lyra, and all of the couples, I haven't read the last one, but I have read up until the 3rd book, technically. The 3rd book is a duet. The 3rd book has 2 parts, essentially, and I'm on the 2nd part. But the 2nd one is my favorite. I love that one a lot, but these characters in the 3rd book are so interesting, and I just love being in their minds. So I'm not going to give anything away. I don't even want to go into detail about the couples or anything. You should just enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. Monty J is such a great writer, and you will be hooked on this series right away. Dark academia, creepy, masked men, dark romance lovers out there, this is absolutely perfect for you. Okay, and last but not least, we have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. Now, I'm sure a lot of you all have heard of this book, but if you haven't gotten around to reading it yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life. No, I haven't finished a series. I actually really need to. And I read this, I think like when it came out, it was in 2022 was when I read it. And I'm pretty sure that's when this book came out. And the first book has 2 parts, and then the third book is it. And then I think that's it for the series. I don't know if there's more to the series. Someone let me know if I'm wrong about that. But the series, I believe, is complete. So if you want to like check it out because it's a completed series, I need to read the second and the third book, and I actually will probably have to reread this one very soon. But I love this book. It just gave me all of the creepy vibe. This one has a little bit of body horror in it. It is a little bit graphic. Creep me out. Death and Sickness story. It's just such an eerie story. It is so perfect for fall and perfect for this season, and the romance is really great. This is a young adult book, but I really loved it, and I just don't read young adult anymore. Not, you know, very rarely, but I have to say that I didn't miss anything in this book. I just feel like it gave me everything. It has a really strong storyline and a really strong plot. The writing is really easy to read and easy to fall in love with. It's just really like, it's the kind of writing that just intrigues you from the very beginning, and you're just hooked. And it's beautiful, mysterious, creepy, and it's just all the vibe. Okay, so we've got some more book recommendations. Got some thriller recs. I love thrillers. I have a particular taste in thrillers that I like to read, but I really do enjoy them, and I think these are all really good for people who like romance books. So if you're new to thrillers and you've never read one, I think these could be some good ones. And also, we've got some that are creepy, I think perfect for this time of year, really going to give you the vibe that you're looking for. So let's start with one of my favorite thrillers of all time, and that is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I love this book. It is so good, and I'm obsessed. I just love it. Maybe I'll reread it. It's my perfect thriller, basically. It's juicy. It's like Pretty Little Liars, but for adults. Okay, that's like, and Gossip Girl, and like, it's all that, like, for adults, about a group of friends that were friends in college. But something happened. One of their friends was actually murdered, and one of their other friends was blamed for the murder. Things very complicated in their friend group. They're all kind of scattered. Some are still friends, most aren't. It's just kind of complicated. And we're following our main character who, she gets a message, and there's like there's a reunion happening at her college, and someone really wants her there. And so all of her friends end up going and reuniting together, but someone knows who murdered their friend, and they want to expose that person, and everybody needs to be there to get exposed for all their lies and just everything that happened, and get them all in one place so everything could come out in the open. And I loved it. Like I said, very juicy. I mean, just everything. It was, I think Ashley Winston did a really good job of like keeping the tension of the book, and she definitely dropped some bombs. There's a love triangle in here. This should absolutely be made into a limited series. It would do so well, because the reveal is good, but it's just, I loved our main character so much, and I was just so intrigued by her, and I was like, I don't know if I should be rooting for her or not. Like, complicated feelings towards our heroine, our main character, but I love this book. It's so good. I highly recommend it. And this is just one of my favorite, if not my favorite thriller of all time. So the next book is Look Closer by David Ellis. Now, this is a book that is a domestic suspense, but with a twist. This actually is perfect for this time of year because it takes place around Halloween. But this book does not, things are not as they seem with this book, okay? I highly recommend you guys check this book out. This is basically about our main character. We're following this guy. He's a professor at a college, and he is married, I believe, and he's having some marital issues. And he actually sees a woman that he used to date. I believe they used to date, or he was in love with her or something, and he kind of starts stalking her a little bit. And there's more to the story, okay? This is more than that. This is so good. I remember when I got to the plot twist and I was like, huh? What just happened? You gotta pay attention. It is so good. The vibes are all there. It actually takes place like on Halloween, so it's perfect for this time of year. Highly recommend you all check this one out. Thank me later. So next we have two books by the same author because I really enjoy this author's work, and specifically this one series by this author is my favorite. So my recommendation is The One by John Mars. This is the perfect thriller for people who love romance books because it does have a lot of romance. It centers around love. So this is a sci-fi thriller, which I love sci-fi, and I love sci-fi around this time of year. So like I said, a sci-fi thriller, and in this thriller we're following a group of a very diverse group of characters, and I believe this takes place in England. In this world, there's this find your one true love, and it's all based off of DNA, so it's science based, and we're following these characters who all decide to find out who their match is, and all of these people have different stories and different experiences, and it is so crazy. It takes you on a really crazy ride, and it just blending like romance with science. Can you find the one in that way? What if you're already with the love of your life and then you go on there? And it's so good. Okay, I love this book. I was intrigued the entire way. Very, very good. Very interesting, plot twisty, and it really builds up nicely to like so many different kind of twists because we're following so many different characters. We have The Passengers by John Mars. This is also happening in the same world. So literally if you go from after The One, The Passengers is next. So again, we're following this world where science is very technologically advanced, and in this one we have there's self-driving car control of different cars that are driving, and they're like, look, this is a game, and if they don't do things right or if something happens, like you could die, where people's lives are at stake, and it is so good. I really loved it, and this does like mention The One as well, so it's really great if you read The One first and then The Passengers, but it's so interesting. It's creepy, and there's murder, there's mystery, there's intrigue. It's good. It's action-packed. This one is a very action-packed, kind of thrilling. You follow the characters, the contestants, if you will, who are thrown into the situation against their will, and it's so good. That is it for all the books. So if you are only here for the books, I understand. You can leave and you can come back for another books video. I think the next book, the next video I'll have is a reading vlog, a weekend reading vlog. So I'll see you all there. If you just want to check out my next video, I understand. I'm just keeping it book related, but we're going to talk about some TV shows. I love TV, so I actually have a ton of recommendations, okay? And we're going to get through these fairly quickly. So first and foremost, I'm a seasonal TV watcher and movie watcher. So there are certain shows and movies that I watch every single season. So I'm going to start with some of those, and a lot of you guys have probably watched these, and if you haven't watched these, this is your time. I'm telling you that you need to, okay? You should just trust me because I know TV, okay? Trust me. So the first one is, of course, Gilmore Girls. If you haven't watched this, what are you doing? It takes place in Connecticut. It is so fall and cozy, and I just love it, and I really love the characters. And we don't talk about A Year in the Life, but we do talk about Gilmore Girls. It ended after the 7th season. We do not talk about what happened in A Year in the Life because, like, what happened, we don't know. We don't talk about it. But the show is chef's kiss perfect, and if you haven't watched it, now is the perfect time to watch it or rewatch it if you haven't watched it in a long time. So we have one of the best teen dramas of all time, and that is Friday Night Lights. This show is amazing. The way they film the show, it feels very realistic. First and foremost, I am from the South, and so it kind of mirrors my high school experience, a part of it, a little bit of it, just growing up in a very like football like town. It's called Friday Night Lights. There's a lot of football, but this takes place in a small town in Texas. A show, it's football season, you know. It's the best show to watch, and if you haven't met Tim Riggins, you are missing out on life because this man is so fun and perfect and everything. Okay, he's everything. We have One Tree Hill, which is my favorite show. Like, it is, but like there's other shows that I like more, but I love this show so much. I watched it in high school, and I have been obsessed with it since then. Basketball is really big in this show, like football is really big in Friday Night Lights. Basketball is a huge part of OTH, and I just love it. I love it. It just gives all of the vibes with the school setting. Gossip Girl, I don't have to talk about Gossip Girl too much. I feel like I know my audience, but just in case, Gossip Girl takes place in New York City. I love Gossip Girl, and there are specific episodes that are like Halloween and Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving episodes are my favorite. I love to watch those. I watch them every single year. I love the show, and I only watch it during the fall. I watch every single year is Vampire Diaries. I mean, duh. But the Vampire Diaries and the originals is better. Okay, next we're gonna get into some recommendations that probably some of you guys haven't watched. So the first one is Poker Face. Shout out to McKay from Oh Hey It's McKay, because she recommended this show to me. She was obsessed with it, and like she would not stop talking about it. And I actually heard about this show. I tried to watch the first episode, it just didn't work. And I came back around after her raving about it, and I love this show. It is so good. We're following our main character. She's in some trouble. She's in some trouble, and she's trying to get away, and she's just like homeless, going from town to town. And each episode is different. So like none of the episodes connect or anything, but there's some kind of murder, and then she can like tell when someone is lying. So she's helped solve these murders in every single episode. Creative, there's a couple episodes that I just love so much, and it's perfect for this time of year just to like experience the amazingness of the show and the creativity of the show. It's on Peacock. If you have it, definitely check it out. We have Slow Horses. This is like a fun like spy show, and it takes place in England. Anything that takes place in England, it's just perfect for this time of year. But I love the show. It's on Apple TV. It's a spy show. I just think it's really fun. But there's some kind of mystery in each and every show. There's a murder. There's, you know, there's a lot going on in every single season. And Abby, this show with my whole heart. It is a perfect show, and there's just something about it. It's just so cozy. I think there's something about historical romance in the fall. Then we have Buffy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a classic, but I personally have not finished the show, and I was like, maybe there are some people who haven't watched it. Let me just say, I think this show still holds up fairly well. Then we have Witches of East End. I think this is on Hulu. This is such a fantastic show. We're following like three sisters who are witches. It sounds familiar to Charmed, but this was canceled after 2 seasons, which is a shame because the show was fantastic, and it doesn't have a nice, complete ending, satisfying ending. I'm just letting you all know that right now. But this show is so great, and it's fantastic, and it's underrated. Like there's romance, there's witches obviously, and magic. Like it's perfect for this time of year. I have A Discovery of Witches, which is now on Netflix. This is honestly, this show I have not finished, and I don't know if I will. I kind of soft DNF'd it, but it's just because the show is really, really slow. All the vibes are there. It takes place during England, kind of has like dark academia vibes. It's kind of like Twilight, but for adults. Honestly, that's the vibe. It's very Twilight-ish. It feels like Twilight almost, but it's different, but it feels very similar to me. Okay, we have 2 more shows and I'm almost done. Next we have Orphan Black. I love sci-fi in this time of year, and usually there's some kind of like mystery element, and this show is one of my favorites. I finished it this year. It was fantastic. What a ride. Check it out if you like mysteries, if you like sci-fi, if you like plot twists. There's so much crazy stuff happening in this show. It's graphic, it's intense, it's so good. Last but not least is Unforgotten. This is a mystery show, and it takes place in England. Investigate cold cases. We're following a different case every season, so we're following a different group of characters. And by the end, we just see how everything connects, and I just love how everything comes together in the end. Those are some TV shows that I think will give you all the fall vibes. All right, so let's get into some movies. So again, I don't do anything scary. So all my TV shows, movies, everything is just vibes and like fall vibes. So the first one is When Harry Met Sally. I mean, duh, if you haven't watched When Harry Met Sally, you're missing out, because this is the quintessential fall movie. I have Pride and Prejudice, like chilly outside and just cozying up and watching Pride and Prejudice. There's nothing like it. Knives Out. I mean, this is one of my favorite movies as well. Totally gives all the vibes. Then the last one is Game Night, and this one is so fun it's so much fun and I love it. Action-packed, really crazy, crazy stuff is happening. And like basically a group of people are having a game night. Something happens and game night takes a turn. Fall reading guide, I had a lot of fun putting this together. As you guys can tell, it's just like cozy. I love mysteries and all that good stuff. I don't really like to be scared, you know, I want to be like intrigued, and that's what I'm looking for. And so these all give me that. So let me know what your vibe is for fall. Is it cozy? Is it dark? Is it scary? Let me know. Whatever your fall vibe is, describe it to me in emojis. That's a fun one. Describe your fall vibe to me in emojis. All right, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.